Hey guys, what is up? This is Talents Firaga, and today we are playing more Power Rangers Time Force on Game Boy Advance. Right, I actually need to find a spare Chronomorpher somewhere around here, because in the last episode you do realize that the Red Ranger and the Blue Ranger had both deadified. Always a good thing. Always great to see you fall into shark-infested water, then like some kind of weird mook, fall into it again. Doesn't look like there were any Chronomorphers on this time period, however, so it's always a little bit unnerving. Also, the game is slowing down considerably. Unfortunately, the game itself, not just the emulation, but the game itself had to have run like this. Because I can see right now that the emulator speed is going at 100%. Right. I guess we can go on to the next stage then. Right! There is our Incinerator. He's with Ransik, and he speaks really slowly, and he looks like a gladiator chap. I wonder what that means. Right, Ancient Rome. This stage is easy. Or it should be easy anyway. Pick up your Chrono Saber right there. And then beat up people. Take this high path and you will not have too many problems. Taking the high road is much better than taking the low road. I believe the game actually intends for you to take the low road, but screw what the game wants. The game doesn't even know what it wants. This is the best option for the game, anyway. So, by tapping forward while running, you can do a dash and get ourselves the Blue Ranger back, as well as a Time Stomper and the Shooty Gun, which is cool. God, this dash system is heinous. Oh no! Anyway, these red gladiator chaps will throw their spears at you, or not really spears, they're more of like halberds or tridents. Well, I guess those would be considered spears, but I mean, would they be considered spears? Write that in the comment section down below. That's your Ray William Johnson style comment question of the day. It comes from a user named the Red Power Ranger. Can't believe I was referencing Ray William Johnson of all people, wow. That does not look good. That does not look like a party I want to join. And we didn't have to join the party. Okay, this is where they keep the gladiators before the fight. In the lag room, ooh. And it's got green goo, which I don't think is historically accurate. Or scientifically accurate, either. Could any historians out there tell me if they actually had, green goo in ancient Rome times? Because you'd be a really, you know, that would be really great if you could just tell me. I know my good buddy DSH is a historian, but he's a lot of things, including a best-selling author, and probably a 5-star chef as well. He cooks pancakes, and the pancakes are made of hammers. Right? Oh, secret passage time! Yes, punchy punchy, kicky kicky. There we go, and there's a quantum morpher and a health kit. Neato burrito. So the spikes here, as you'd expect, they deal a lot of damage. Therefore, it's best to not run into them and to keep your health up. Luckily with the Quantum Ranger, that shouldn't be too much of a problem because he just chews through everything. I mean, you give him a burger, he will chew through it because that is how you eat food. You don't just stick the entire burger in your gob and then just say, you know, I'm eating this burger by sticking the entire thing down my gullet. No, you have to chew your food. Let that be a lesson to you guys. Unless you're like some kind of weird snake thing that can, you know, digest their food whole. Like you stick an entire hard-boiled egg down your throat. Right, this slow down and then get a health kit and the time stomper. Which means we have a boss fight. And our boss is Iron Senator, who, once again, never actually appeared in the show. Right, get our Chrono Saber out, and more importantly, it doesn't matter if we die as the Quantum Ranger. Because the Quantum Ranger, well, does not count as a life. Or it's basically like a spare life. He's a free man, let me tell you that. He is Gordon Freeman. Right, this is repeatedly tap R, the movie. There we go. And now, this is not over, not by a long shot. The only way to defeat this monster is with the Megazord Saber, charge it up to win. And we get to fight in the Coliseum, which is pretty darn cool. Once again, basically repeatedly tap R to get that energy up. Iron Senator really doesn't attack all that often, which is rare. I guess he's kind of a warm-up considering what the next boss is going to be like, but I don't actually want to cover the next boss quite yet, so we put this one back into Cryo Freeze. Someone is breaking into the museum and stealing the priceless artifacts. Wow. I don't think we should really care about those priceless artifacts, though. I'll tell you what, and, you know, to kind of pad out the episode, I do want to talk a little bit more about, you know, something I don't really know. What should I talk about? What should I talk about to drive the episode time up so it seems like I'm actually, you know, kind of struggling through this game, putting up a fight? You know what, I think I've padded it up long enough. Right, I'm gonna see you guys later. This is Tales from Raga signing out. Thank you all for watching, and I'm very, very sorry. Hang on, hold that phone. I mean, really, hang on to that phone really, really tightly, because it's going to fall out of your hand if you don't. After recording the episode of Power Rangers Time Force, I was actually interested in seeing what several ratings and reviews for the game were. So I went over to GameFAQs and saw that the reader review average is a 2.8, while the rating average from users is a 4.4. These are out of 10, by the way, so these scores aren't exactly flattering. The users overall felt, you know, that it was a better game than the readers did. And I guess there's a good reason why the readers are the readers. The average on game rankings, meanwhile, is 6.1, but on their site they list it at 59.20%. Based on 5 reviews. Nintendo Power gave the game a 3.5 out of 5, Game Vortex gave it a 7.5 out of 10, Video Gamers First gave it a 5.1 out of 10, and IGN gave it a 6 out of 10, meaning the reviews were overall mixed, but people thought it was at least better than what GameFAQs gave it credit for. There were also 2 other Power Rangers Time Force games released that year. The Game Boy Advance game was released by Vicarious Visions and THQ in September of 2001. In April of 2001, there was a game released by Natsume and THQ for the Game Boy Color. This game overall has higher rankings. The average reader review is an 8.0, but since that comes from one review, that might not mean much. The user rating average, meanwhile, is 6.8, meaning it's still not a fantastic game, but at least they found it better than the Game Boy Advance game. There was also a PlayStation game released by Climax Group and THQ in November of 2001, making it the latest Power Rangers Time Force game, in case you want to see the latest versions of the game. There aren't any reader reviews for it, but the rating average from GameFAQs is a 6.2. Not great, but fair enough. The game, meanwhile, has a 66.5% ranking on Game Rankings. Game Vortex gave the game a 72 out of 100, PSX Nation gave it a 61 out of 100. So, overall, the Power Rangers Time Force games weren't actually all that bad. They weren't great by any stretch of the imagination, but they weren't actually that bad. So, if you're interested in playing the games for yourselves, then I guess I can actually recommend that you do so. Except for the Game Boy Advance version, which will scar you for life. I'll see you guys later. This is Tails Firaga signing out, and I'm very, very sorry.